Welcome into another edition of The Session with Londa and David. My name is David Austin.
I'm Londa Sherwood Austin. Welcome back. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for being here. And you know what? We'd like to hear what you think about the program. So after you listen to this program, I'd like you to jump on your email and email david@sherwoodaustin.com or londa@sherwoodaustin.com and tell us what you think about it. I hear a lot of comments every week about this program, but it seems like it's from the same handful of people, and I think they enjoy the show. I'd like to know what you think. So when you're done with this program, email david@sherwoodaustin.com or londa@sherwoodaustin.com.
Or text me. Or
Texting's
message me on social media or whatever.
The Session with Londa and David is a business-focused podcast that really is what we talk about in our everyday lives. Are you enjoying your home coffee?
Oh, that's good.
There's nothing better than home coffee. Home coffee, it's on the house.
Here's a hot tip for you. Nescafe makes a product called, I think it's called Nescafe Gold.
Okay.
And it's an instant espresso.
Right. Delightful.
Chef's kiss.
And that is not a paid endorsement or a commercial.
But it could be.
Our sponsor, though, is Home Coffee. Home Coffee is on the house. Okay, we've got a lot of stuff to talk about this week, Londa. What are your thoughts?
Oh, well, you know, I think last week was an interesting program for me because I've, in 22 years of professional coaching, life coaching, business coaching, I've helped a lot of people find their why.
Right.
Right? I have always been unable to put a finger on mine.
Okay.
Really,
I'll put a finger on your why. I'm sorry. That was too easy of a joke.
Do you see what I put up with? So anyway, and it was interesting to last week kind of be, I don't know, accidentally, inadvertently kind of walked into it. And I think it's because I wasn't expecting it. I wasn't looking for it. I've worked with a lot of coaches over the years. And I've done every activity that I use for other people to drill down on the why. Like, why are you here?
Right.
Why do you do? And to be able to actually articulate something that feels the closest to a why, because that's such a big thing. The closest that I've ever gotten, let's put it that way. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, so to be able to even articulate that for me was really, really interesting and really powerful. And if you're a person who, like me, you're like, I don't know, I just get up every morning, I put one foot in front of the other, I work really hard to pay my bills, and I don't really think about the why because the why is too big or too scary or too whatever. Too complicated, too whatever. And then to be able to just articulate, to have an extraordinary life and help others do the same. And it just kind of came out really easily. I thought, oh, okay. So that was really fun for me. If you want to hear more about that, or maybe you're like me, go back and listen to last week's show. And
last week's show started with the premise, what's your job? And what I really wanted to get down to is why do you do the job you do? And what's the purpose of it, which takes you to your why. If you know your why, you can reverse engineer your life to make sure you achieve that. So,
and here's one of the ways that you can do that. For me, we had the Columbia Cup here in Tri-Cities, Washington over the weekend. Congratulations to Apollo for taking the Columbia Cup home. That was really fun and exciting. But I think that makes, anyway.
The winner, Dave.
Yeah, the oldest.
It was his 12th cup.
Yes, but at 71 years of
That's
age,
exactly
I think
right.
he's the oldest person to ever win, at least the Columbia Cup. I don't know.
And I think he's won it more times than anyone else. And
he's tied with
and
somebody
it's
else.
because the first, second, and third place in that race were all disqualified for crossing the starting line first. He came in fourth and won the whole thing.
Well, whatever the case,
follow the rules. Don't jump off the starting gate before you're supposed to.
Whatever the case, I don't even remember where I was going.
Boat races.
Well, we had the Columbia Cup this weekend, which is hydroplane races on the Columbia River. It's a huge event here in our little corner of the world. If you're not familiar with it, it is like our Mardi Gras. You know what I mean? It's like everybody's at the river. It's just so much fun. There's vendors and there's we were really lucky this year. We on Saturday we're in one little private tent, and then on Sunday in a different private tent. And I've never done that before. I've always been, one of the povos out in the sun. I really have not gone to it a lot, but I even got to go into the pits this year, and that was really fun. For 32 years in Tri-Cities, first time I've ever been into the pits. So for me, I was like a kid yesterday.
Thank you to STCU for the invitation on Sunday. It was inviting our little tiny real estate company into your private tent. What a nice time that was.
So one of the things, though, that I did that's connected to my why of living an extraordinary life is I got into the river yesterday. Right. So, and let me just set the scene for you. When you're in a private tent, it's not really that private. It's a space that's like 40 feet wide or something, 30 feet wide. But here's what it is. It's chairs of people lined up under covered, those, what do you call those pop-ups?
Easy ups,
and chairs of people. So if you're going to get into the water, you're doing it in front of an audience.
Right.
Stick with me. So I, at the ripe age of 54, still wear a bikini in the water.
And
this is my story. Because one-piece swimsuits don't fit me. You say, get a tall. They don't fit. They don't fit right. So whether you like it or not, it's out there. And one of my goals in life is to put a normal human body, a normal human face out there in the world. Okay. Part of how I live an extraordinary life is to be kind of ordinary. Like and listen, I don't care if you do, like plastic surgery, Botox, fillers, whatever, all that stuff. I'm okay if you do. It's not okay for me personally.
Okay.
And so I just have a very strong, I guess, a core value about being natural. Okay. Mm-hmm. And it just is what it is. So yesterday, for me, it is extraordinary because it takes a lot of courage. I have this crippling body dysmorphia, and it's a whole thing. And this is why someone recently told me listening to your podcast sounds like therapy.
Well, let me tell you something. Having conversations about things that are of interest or forcing yourself to be introspective, which I have to do when we do this podcast, is like therapy.
Yeah. So I did it. I got in the water, and part of it is because I want to live my life.
Right.
Not afraid, right? And I think it is extraordinary if you can be courageous in circumstances where, part of you wants to hide or shrink back or, be afraid or no, that would be too much, or
sure.
I'm not enough. Anytime I'm faced with I'm not enough or too much, I want to be brave. And for me, that is an extraordinary life doing that. So, and I had a ball. I got in the water. I got to rescue some ducks.
For all the little kids on the waterway. Yeah, it was nice.
The safety boats were going by, and they were tossing rubber ducks and turtles and stuff into the water. But
and Mardi Gras beads. So you made a reference like it's Mardi Gras.
So some of them were too far out for the kids to be able to get. So I was swimming out and getting them. And also being active is, another way that I want to live an extraordinary life. You know? And they seem like simple things, but to me, this is part of how I make it happen. I don't really know why I'm telling you. I don't know why I'm saying all this, except that live your life. Live it to the fullest.
Live
it.
It's funny that you say that because we were talking to somebody yesterday at the STCU tent about retirement and about what that's like. And you and I were kind of semi-retired for a few years while we were doing the radio show in Louisiana and while we were playing in Florida at our vacation home. We were everything was kind of on pause, right? And I got news for you, and I found this out yesterday in real time while I was having a conversation with Jason from Smile a Mile Painting, that I don't ever need to retire because getting up in the morning and having somewhere to go is important to me. Mm-hmm. Not having somewhere to go in the morning is kind of boring.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I didn't know that about myself until yesterday when I heard myself saying it, which is interesting. And it's because I'm not introspective and I don't think about me very often. I think about other people all the time, and I rarely think about me. But when stopping to think about my needs, I would far rather get up with somewhere to go than get up with no plan.
Yeah.
And that's interesting.
Well, I think along those same lines, I saw a social media post from our friend Kendra, who's a realtor in Louisiana, who's a fantastic realtor. And she made this post about, I didn't wait for the market to get better. I got better.
I like that.
I knew you would. That's why I brought it up.
Oh, I like that a lot.
And this goes along with this idea, this bigger concept that we're talking about. Mindset is everything. You create the life you want. If you want an extraordinary life, go out and get it. That whole kind of idea. So she and I had a little brief conversation about it, but about, I do hear a lot of people right now in our industry, realtors, lenders, insurance representatives. What do you call those people? Insurance
brokers,
talking about how hard it is, how bad things are, how slow it is.
I hate that language.
It's so hard. Now listen, it ain't easy. It is not easy. But if you want things to be better, get better.
Yes.
I don't want to learn how to be a social media. I don't want to be social media savvy.
Right.
I don't want to learn how to do that.
Sure.
But it's part of how I get better.
Right.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like, that's where people are. So I overheard a conversation just this weekend where someone was talking about, like, I hate giving my kids access to social media, but even their school, that's where they put the latest information. It's like you follow the middle school's Instagram page because that's where they put the latest updates. And so he's like, we kind of have to.
Sure.
Right? So that's, you got to get better if you want things to be better.
Yeah, I don't understand allowing external conditions that you cannot control rule your life. I don't understand that mindset. I can't wrap my head around it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Be if things are tough, like, be sad. It's okay. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be depressed. It's okay to be down. It's okay to kind of isolate and hibernate. And eventually you've got to come out of it. Eventually you've got to say, what can I do?
Right.
What is possible?
Well, and the question is, what's tough about our local business climate and real estate market? I'll tell you what's not tough about it. The stock market's at an all-time high, setting records weekly. Pretty good. Inflation, despite all the talk in the national news media about tariffs ruining our economy, inflation is down. Down, not up, down. Gas prices are down. I mean,
Except
I don't
in
understand.
Washington.
Well, Washington's got some new taxes that just went on the books. So,
Yeah.
yes, our gas is higher than anywhere
Ridiculous.
else, except for California. But that's neither here nor there. What I'm
Right.
saying is, what is so tough? If somebody needs a home, somebody is selling a home.
Well,
If somebody needs to get a loan, somebody is doing loans. I
So,
mean, it's not tough. I don't understand the mindset about it being so tough.
I'm going to give a little pushback here.
Give me a little pushback.
Okay. It is, I'll tell you what's tough. I'll give an example from our own business.
Okay.
This last week, we had my favorite listing, my favorite listing I've ever had in all my time in real estate. This was my favorite home I've ever listed. And they terminated the listing and took it off the market. And the reason they did that ultimately is because they can't find a suitable place to go that's as good or as nice as where they currently are.
For the economics that they're already involved in with that house.
Yes.
And you know what that tells me?
So let me just finish, though. That sucks because, buyers are kind of, here's a little insight into real estate. Buyers are kind of now money, and it is money. We're in sales. We're professional salespeople. So we want to make money. That's how we pay our bills. But buyers represent kind of now money for us.
Right.
30 days.
Sure. Yep.
Listings represent future money for our team, our business. So when a listing goes away, that profit went away too. That future profit went away too. So in that way, it is tougher because, and the reason that it went away is because the economics of the market, and it's just not the right time for them. Now, I fully support their decision. I think it absolutely is the right thing for them to do right now.
Right.
Did it still suck to lose that potential future money? And I know I reason with myself all the time, it never was there, so it never was real, so we didn't really lose anything. I do all that too.
Sure.
But the truth is, that was tough. So now this is why at the same time, while we had that listing on the market, we're working at other things.
Right.
Right.
That's exactly right.
That kind of those habits, those processes, those systems of how we get business, how we maintain business, how we, acquire new business, maintain current business, search for future business, all that kind of stuff, nurture our past business. That stuff doesn't stop because we can't predict.
Absolutely. And now that you've given me the pushback and you've told me how something is hard, here's what would have been hard to me if we lost the client relationship.
Oh, yeah. That
is what
would be
would
devastating.
Be hard. And we didn't lose the client relationship.
Sure.
And the listing is just another tick on a spreadsheet, right? But the relationship is what's important to me.
Right.
And if we'd have pushed them to do what was uncomfortable.
Oh, what?
If we would have pushed them to do what was uncomfortable.
I wouldn't have, but.
Well, right. We would have lost the relationship.
Yeah.
And I would rather lose today money.
Right.
To maintain a relationship. So for me, losing it is absolutely no big deal because we didn't lose a relationship.
Yeah.
So to me, it's not hard at all.
Right.
And when I heard,
and there's a big difference between the two of us.
Yes.
I'm the data nerd, right? So the tick on the sheet, that to me, the profit and loss on paper is kind of forefront in my brain because my brain works.
Yeah,
right?
but your profit and loss is a flashback, not a flash forward. And if you're thinking of profit as a flash forward, you're going to be hurt all the time because everything's fluid until it closes. Yeah, so you need to look at your profit and loss as a rear view mirror thing, not a fork. You can forecast, but you can't look at it as money in the bank, right?
Well,
so
no.
for me,
I'm not dumb. I didn't.
Right. So for me, the money in the bank is the relationship, and the relationship is all that counts. And when Homeowner said to me, I actually feel a little bit better about this because now I feel like my kids are in a better place with the same economics. That makes sense to me.
Oh, yeah.
So what I want to do in our business is make sure when someone has a need, we can help with that need.
Yeah, but I don't want to, I guess I wanted to talk about that because I don't want to discount that it is harder.
Well, yes.
We don't make it.
The interest rates aren't in the high twos, and people aren't buying houses recreationally. That's absolutely true.
Yeah, I guess I'm trying to recognize my colleagues and say, listen, I get it. It is a little harder. We've got to be better.
Right. If you're doing the exact
harder.
same things you did in 2020 to be successful today, it's really hard. So the magic is you need to move along and we've upped our standards, now up yours. You know what I mean? Yeah. I heard somebody say that 3 times over the weekend. But you need to be dynamic in your business, right? Because sure, when interest rates were 2.875 for a 30-year fixed rate loan, loans seemed easy, right? Well, actual guidelines to close loans are a little looser now than they were when it was 2.875. So what's easier? You know what I mean? It may be easier to qualify now for a loan because they've changed some of the guidelines to help spur the economy. So the moral of the story is, for me, if you're dynamic and rolling with the industry, there are ups and downs, and you've got to sometimes hit the gas a little harder and hit the brakes a little harder. Yeah. And so I'm not saying it's not hard. What I'm saying is it's part of the job.
Yeah, for sure.
And for me, the hard part is losing relationships.
Yeah.
That's the hard part.
Yeah.
And I don't like that at all.
Yeah.
I'd way rather keep a relationship and lose a check than the other way around.
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
And as long as we're doing the right stuff and doing what we say we're going to do, we're going to keep the relationships.
We may lose some checks. It's so funny because I'm just thinking about, I'm working with 2 different clients right now that I lost in the past.
That's interesting.
So
you didn't really lose the relationship.
Here's another thing I would say to encourage anybody who's feeling a little bit down, like focused on what you've lost. Refocus. I say this all the time. Success is not the ability to focus, but the ability to refocus. Refocus on what you have. Refocus on what you have again and again and again. And it's okay because you just never know. Life is weird, right? And so two different people that I'm working with right now are people who, I thought the relationships were lost in the past.
I gotcha.
And, they came back around and now we're doing some business together. So I just think, I guess I'm going back to mindset really is everything. Perception is reality. So if you think that things suck, they do. And if you think that things, there's only opportunity, there is.
Right. You find what you're looking for.
Yeah.
If you're looking for shitty news, you're going to find all the bad news you can get.
Yeah.
If you're looking for great news, you'll find that too. It may take a little longer, but you will.
It's that reticular activating system,
That's exactly
right?
What
Sitting
it
in the
is.
base of your brain. It's kind of your onboard hard drive, and it's running in the background all the time, and you program it by the way that you think.
And if you haven't heard me say this, you may have heard somebody else say this. Think about the first car you ever bought yourself, your first car. I had never seen a Saturn on the road really until the day I bought my first Saturn. Mm-hmm. That day, I saw 4,000 of them on the road.
Right, because you were looking for them.
And I didn't even realize I was looking for them, right? So that's the reticular activating system. It automatically, kind of magically happens. If you've read the book The Secret, It's all about the law of attraction, and you're really just looking for the opportunities that are in your head.
The go-giver is another one.
Yep.
Ninja selling is another one that those all kind of focus. I'm sure there are others too, but those all kind of focus on that idea.
Yes. Yes. We had a client earlier in the year who told us a realtor told them they would need to spend $100,000 on their house upgrading it to make it saleable. And when we heard that story, we were both kind of dumbfounded because the house was super, super cute, dated, albeit dated, but super, super cute and super, super clean. And you said, well, I'm sorry you had that experience. What's your goal? And the person talked about not wanting to spend a ton of money.
Well, what I actually asked, do you want to spend $100,000 to upgrade the house? She said, no. I said, do you want to spend any money? No. Well, what's the ideal outcome then? You start from there.
Right.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, we ended up winning that listing. They were willing to clean the house and do the minor maintenance things that needed to be done, but we were able to sell that house for their dollar amount that they were looking for.
Actually, they did clean it. They did not do any maintenance. And they cleaned it themselves. I said, have a professional cleaner. Nope, cleaned it themselves. And we ended up selling it for more than what I thought. But then that was, anyway.
Anyway, so the moral of the story is you can help people achieve their goals, and some people who aren't looking for the right outcomes may have other ideas. But if you're just looking to solve the problem and you're certain you can, I bet you can.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Having belief. And the person who bought the home couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe they scored such an awesome, awesome thing.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm talking about. If you look for the good, you'll find it. It's not magic. If you look for the good, you'll find it.
Yeah.
There you go. That's all I have about that. Do you have a restaurant review that nobody asked for that you'd like to talk about this week?
Well, I do, but it's not good and it's controversial, and I'd love someone to prove me wrong, but I went to another event today that was catered by CG Public House, and I love them and I love those people, and I've eaten at their restaurant for years and years and years and have given them good reviews. But man, I have never been to an event they catered that I loved the food. And I don't know if it's because catering is a whole different animal and it's harder to do, and especially at boat races, and maybe that was it, but it was just, kind of mediocre at best, I would say. And I felt like maybe they weren't, maybe they were spread a little thin this weekend.
I'm sure. It's a big weekend for catering.
I felt like the employees that were there were a little ill-prepared. And maybe they didn't have as much support and resources as they needed.
Okay.
Salads sitting out in the direct sunlight.
Yeah, that's a tough deal.
Rough.
Yeah.
And they were, in ice, but it was tough. I didn't eat them, the ones in the sun. But so that would be, sorry, I'm honest. So
that catering experience, not your favorite?
I mean, I will say it was hamburgers and hot dogs, which,
right.
And I indulge in a hot dog when it's, an activity like that, right?
Sure.
And the lead employee who was in charge went and found me some relish packets, which I thought was very nice. So I 10 out of 10 on scoring me some relish from a hot dog, but otherwise it was just.
So good service, mediocre product.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
That's just real.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. I typically don't love catered affairs.
That's true.
You
always say the catering you don't get.
And it's because food temps are so important to me. I would much rather sit in a restaurant and be waited on than go to a catered event.
Yeah.
And I rarely have a catered experience that I've enjoyed. Now, I love the people at CG Public House. Their catering business has done some really cool events that I've been to. But doing a barbecue that they're not making on site, not for me. If we're going to barbecue and have burgers and dogs, I want a grill right there and somebody flipping them. You know what I mean? That just feels like it's something.
Yeah, although I will say this. They never ran out of Diet Coke, and God bless you for that.
They didn't, and that was great. And yes, the staff was nice and friendly. But I always question mayonnaise-based products that sit in the sun. And it's not a problem with the caterer. It's a problem with the delivery system. Outdoor potato salad, got to keep it out of the sunlight. And there was no way to do that because of the time of day. The sun was behind the tent, and it was right there under the tent. Yeah. But no way to, I don't know how they could have done that differently. You know what I mean?
Flip-flop the table.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Put
the burgers in the sun.
Run people backwards.
Okay. That's a problem solved right there. I would have never thought of that. And
I grew up in restaurants.
That's true. And the reason I'm not a big catering guy is because I've never been around good catering. You know what I mean?
Sharp left turn, David Austin. You ready?
Yep.
I would like you to stop what you're doing and go to your favorite app. It's probably Zillow, or you can just Google this address. Are you ready?
Yes.
38906 DeMoss Road.
Oh, I know where you're going.
Benton City.
I like it.
38906 DeMoss Road, Benton City. You didn't get that? I'll give you time to get a pen and paper, open your notes app, or text it to someone. 38906 DeMoss Road, Benton City. I would love if you would just do me a personal favor. Take a look at that listing and maybe share it with somebody.
Ada, why don't you insert the video that we made for this address right here? Insert it right here.
What's $1.65 million get you in Benton City, Washington?
Cherry View Farm.
Let's take a look. If you want a modern farmhouse that's well appointed and well designed with incredible views from every level, Cherry View Farm might be for you. Come upstairs to the second level. It's got 2 bedrooms and a bathroom, but what's unique about this upstairs
is the sitting area.
2 smart mirrors, a vanity, and this view.
Don't miss the custom-made butcher block island. Now let's go downstairs.
Another bedroom, another bathroom, another living room, more storage, and a 1-car garage with built-in storage, motorcycle not included. There are several English walnut and black walnut trees on the property, a variety of fruit trees in addition to the 5-ish acres of cherry trees, garden beds. They also participate in the wood duck conservation program, so you'll see these boxes along the river here. They hatched 83 ducklings last year. Did I say berries? Because there's berries too. Berry brambles, berry bushes all over.
Right now this is a hayfield, but you can use it however you like.
You might think this is just an irrigation pump, and you're right. And you might think, who cares? And you'd be wrong, because this property comes with senior water rights in the Yakima River. And whatever this is, this door's locked for the day, but it does come with a working shop for the orchard. If you want self-sufficient living, Cherry View Farm might be for you.
It is a very, very special property, and it's not for everyone. It is for a very specific buyer. There are so many special and unique things about it. For example, the hardwood flooring, excuse me, that the original owner had flown in from Indiana.
Right.
Things like that. There are like so many special touches. You know, the butcher block countertop that was created from wood on the property. You know, it's just, if you want, it's a lifestyle property, right?
Right.
It's 6-ish acres of cherry orchard. They produce some of the best Rainier cherries in the world. They have international contracts on those cherries. They just passed all their inspections with flying colors. They were so excited about it. But in addition to that, there's a about 3,000 square foot home 3 bedrooms, 3 bath, beautiful. Here's the big thing though, 920-ish feet of riverfront. Yes, there are a couple of fishing holes right off the bank. Yes, you can put your paddle boards or kayaks in right off the property. They participate in the duck conservation program, so they have these boxes where the ducks can lay their eggs safely. They hatched, I think, 83 ducklings last year. So cute. And there's a variety of berries, bushes, and trees for your own personal use. Although I would say 13, they have both black walnut trees and English walnut trees, and there's 13 of one of them, and I can't remember which one. So that's a lot of personal use. I think you could probably do something with those and make some money on those. I don't know. Anyway, I mean, there's just everything. If you want kind of a self-sustaining life on the river, they have senior water rights.
Right. You're never going to be told you can't irrigate.
It's a big, big deal. So, yeah, if you would please do that for me now that I've piqued your interest with some of the details. 38906 DeMoss Road. Take a look at it. Share it with somebody just for kicks and giggles.
I think that's great. Ada, thank you for inserting that video where you did. That was awesome. What else do you want to talk about? We have 1 minute.
Just, life is what you make it. So make it, you only get one shot at this, baby. This is it. Today's the day. Make it what you want it to be.
That's exactly right.
And Sherwood Austin Homes is here to help you if part of making it what you want it to be is buying or selling a home.
SherwoodAustin.com. That is SherwoodAustin.com is where you can go and find out everything that we're up to. For Londa, Joanne, Sherwood Austin, my name's David Austin, and this has been another edition of The Session with Londa and David. We can't wait to hear from you. Text or email David@SherwoodAustin.com or Londa@SherwoodAustin.com. We'll see you again next week.